So I was based in York for 7 years doing postdoctoral research and then got a fellowship. And at the end of that, I moved to the University of Surrey, where I'm now a lecturer. There are always setbacks, I think, just in life. It's not necessarily a personal reflection. Sometimes it's just because there are lots of different people in the mix. And actually the people who get on in life are people who persevere and can cope well with setbacks. There are lots of opportunities at York. So there are opportunities within the department itself, which are quite specific on research, so things like programming. But there are also other opportunities which are broader, so things like how to deliver an effective lecture, things about careers or teaching, which are run by the university more broadly. For example, the university offers teaching qualifications, which are really important for the academic job. I'm currently involved in one now, but if I'd got that qualification earlier, I'd be definitely top of the pile for my job. It's great to have the initial experience of teaching in a sort of small environment in seminars, and then go on to put yourself forward to deliver larger lectures, and that's essential for any career in academia. So my teaching in this lecture hall was about aphasia, which is what I research, and so I brought in some of the stroke patients that I work with. I think it was they were really gripped, and I think it was mutually beneficial as well. The stroke patients loved it and told them about what it's like to have a stroke, and the students wrote about it in their feedback about how it'd been really useful to meet those patients. There are a number of ways that PhD students can gain experience in communicating with different audiences. Sometimes their research might naturally lead on to different audiences. So I work with stroke patients, but other people work with children going to schools. So you could just practice by telling relatives about your research in a sort of layman's terms, which can be really useful. You can also write in the university magazine about your research, and there are also lots of opportunities to do public engagement events. So I did an engagement event in the Guildhall in city centre, and I was showing young children all about my topic. I used a hooker duck as a metaphor for my topic, and it was really a good event. The advice I'd give to students publishing is that it's not a race. Sometimes things can take several months or years to become a really solid piece of work. So don't necessarily go for the first journal. Try and aim high. And if you do aim high and you get rejected, you can sometimes have really good feedback to improve the publication. Don't be shy about adding extra people as authors. It doesn't detract in any way from your input into the work. I got involved with the British Neuropsychological Society through my supervisor, who'd been very involved in the society. The experience with the society has been really beneficial, not least because in my current role as a lecturer, they asked for admin experience, and you don't really get opportunities for doing admin when you're a researcher. And then I got put forward to be on the committee of that society. It's really crucial to go to these conferences and meet different people and try and be as engaged and involved as you can be. So I've always thought it's really important to link research with what's happening in reality and tell people about what we're doing. And particularly with my work being with stroke patients, I thought it was really important to give back and once a year tell them what we've been doing for the last year, what we found out. So I went about finding funding to host an outreach event, and that brought the patients that we work with, perhaps about 40 or so of patients and carers, to the university. I arranged short talks because obviously their capacity for paying attention and comprehending is perhaps more limited than another audience. So I organised short talks from people at the university here that I work with, but also other universities nearby, Bradford, York St John, Leeds Beckett, And so people came here, and it was a really lovely day, and the patients really, really enjoyed having that opportunity to hear about what we'd been doing. They also really enjoyed meeting each other as well, so it became really quite a community of people involved in the research, and they were much more enthusiastic, I think, about being involved in further projects as a consequence. My advice for PhD students is to say yes to things. I think that's a good motto for life, is just to go for things. If there's a vacancy, then put yourself forward to fill it, even if it's scary at the beginning. It means that other people know about you, not just you and your supervisor, but the broader academic community within the university and also potentially further afield. I think it's also important, if you want to go into academia and become a lecturer, to do other things as well. So it's, as a lecturer, you're a bit of an all-rounder. So it's not just the research and really excelling in that research, but it's really important to do things like these outreach things, which perhaps you might find scary and you might find difficult, but the more you practice, PhD is a great opportunity to practice all sorts of different skills and gain skills in communicating as well as the research, and that can really stand you in good stead for your job later on.